So we've already assembled the keyboard. At this point, the rest of it is very straightforward. To put switches in, all you have to do is look for the holes with the little slots on top. The holes with a slot on top, right there, there, and there. So you want to line up the pins with those KL hot swap sockets. So for this board, all the pin holes are on the top of the switch. Orient your switch so the pins are on top. And just press it in. Make sure you press it firmly so that the plate catches the ridge, especially because there's foam pushing against it. And just go all the way through. So a step that people usually do to just make sure that their stabilizers sound good after tuning is that they'll take the PCB and they'll put the plate on top of it, attach a switch just like this right here, but with no case, just to check if it sounds good, if it sounds even, if they need to fix it prior to putting everything together. So here, I'm going to grab the left shift, the space bar, the enter, and the backspace. So here, you want to touch the keys across it to make sure it sounds good, even. Listen to it, put it up to your ear, lean down on the table, do whatever you need to see if your stabilizers sound good. After you do that, then assemble the case. I did a little bit out of order, but after that, you just put all the switches in. As a beginner, you may be scared to push the switch in. It's understandable. I was scared too. But like I said, if it's fighting you, the pin has not gone through the socket, so maybe wiggle it to make sure it falls in before forcing it. And over time, you'll get more comfortable with it. And you just go through quickly. And in the situation that you do get a bent pin, you'll probably find out after you put the keycap on and the key isn't working properly. Just take this switch out because it is hot swap. Pull it out with a switch puller like this and look at the pin and just bend it back. Whatever tools you have handy, just bend it back. Be careful so you don't snap it off completely. But if you do, and this is why I recommend just buying extra switches. So this keyboard takes 68 switches. You can buy 70. I highly recommend buying 80 just to make sure you have extra. It has happened to me before, but good thing is that individual switches are not too expensive. Just don't worry about it. Replace it with another one, order another set of 10, you'll be fine. Another recommendation is people like to put the corner ones in first to kind of secure the PCB. But for our case, the PCB is secured in with the standoffs. It is not going anywhere. But in other top mount boards or other boards, it may not be screwed in like this. So doing the four corners first to kind of just make sure it's lined up will help. So like right there, the pin fought me a little bit, so I pulled it out just to not bend the pin or damage it. And there you go. Falls in much better the second time. I heard a weird sound, so I'm gonna take the switch puller, grab the top and bottom of the switch, take a look at it, and indeed, I have a bent pin. And when I say use whatever you have, I'm going to be using a push pin. I'll be using a push pin right there to try to bend this out. Let's see if I can get close. You can see the back pin is a little bit lower because it's been bent over. So I use the push pin to kind of push into that little fold, get it open, and I use the tweezers. I use the tweezers and that flat bit to bend it straight. So now if you look closely, both pins are at the correct height, and we're good to go. Be more careful, snaps in perfectly. If you had a question why my switches have a blue piece of plastic on them, these are called switch films, and I'll explain it in a separate video. Switch films allow you to deal with kind of like inconsistent housing, so it reduces stem wobble and improves the sound because of less of wobble. So I put in switch films into these T1s because the T1s are a great tactile switch, but the top housing isn't great. So with the switch films in, it's very stable and it sounds and feels very similar to even more expensive switches such as Holy Pandas and Zelio's V2 67 grams. So now we have put in all of the switches, then we put on the keycaps. So for me, I like to do the modifiers first because I know where they go most of the time. So the 65% keyboard has this right here. This is a short right shift, 1.7 U length. U is a measurement of keycaps. Regular keycaps like this are 1 U. Just think about how many of these single keycaps your modifier keys are. You can estimate what the length is. This keyboard uses all standard keys except the right shift. So we had a few little technical difficulties, but I just wanted to explain a few things I had mentioned. So when you put on your keycaps, it's a little bit daunting to look at a keyboard with just switches in it and nothing else. I'd like to have an image pulled up or another keyboard to look at where the keys go. Just look at an image, put them in one by one, and you're good to go. But yeah, this is the fully assembled KBD67MKII. This is the black aluminum case, and it has the GMK Red Samurai 65% keycap set from Drop. This is just a 65% keycap set, very limited in the compatibility, but if you're on a budget and you only need the 65% for your one keyboard, it is only, I think it's $90 in shipping versus GMK sets are just expensive in general, so I highly recommend buying them from Drop if they fit your needs and your tastes. Now that we have a fully built keyboard, it looks amazing, I might add. Especially the back weight. There's fingerprints on there just because this is a real keyboard that's being used. After that, just plug in your keyboard, head back over to Keyboard Tester. Just press all the keys and make sure they all work. Looks like it all works, so our keyboard is ready to go. So let's record a new sound test with this specific board right here to give you a taste of what the KBD67MKII is capable of. Yeah. So that'll do it. This was an instructional build video for the KBD67MKII. Thanks for sticking around. Hopefully that video was helpful. The first time I had to build this keyboard, I actually got help, and I still needed extra help. So hopefully this guide was of use to you. If you like this kind of content, please give me a like. Please comment below if you have any specific questions. And if I can't answer them in the comments, make sure you join the KBD Fans Discord. There's a questions and help section, and people are very helpful there. If you want to see more custom keyboard content, I'll be adding a lot of that to my channel, along with general tech reviews and things of that nature, because I just love nerding out. Make sure you click the notification bell to get updates as to when my videos come out as soon as they are live. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Bye.